Hi, my name is Greg Wilkins. I'm just here to show you the latest status of the Signalk Racer plugin that I've been working on. It's now version 0.9.13, which is, I think we're pretty close to a version 1.0.0, which I shall do once the kit widgets that I've also been contributing are ready to go. So I'll give you a demo today of how to use the Racer plugin by itself, and I'll also give you a preview of the kit widgets, which make it even better and prettier and well integrated with kit. So I've installed the Signalk Racer plugin 0.9.3. I've got kip installed, which is good to work with it. It also doesn't need, but Freeboard SK is very good for seeing where the line is and setting up routes and things like that. Therefore, you need a resource provider and a course provider if you want to save waypoints, which is the line and the routes and things. Now, you don't need them. The plugin will work without all this, without waypoints, but it's much better with them. It looks prettier, it's more persistent. You can restart and not lose your line because, I don't know, there's always a restart of the instruments during a start sequence. It frequently happens, and if you've just pinged a line and someone power cycles the system, it's really good not to lose your line. Anyway, so once you've installed the Signalk Racer plugin, you need to configure it. So here's the plugin config for it. Again, most of the configuration is about the waypoints. You don't need them, but if you're using them, it's much better. So you give the name of the starboard end of the line waypoint, start boat I've called it, and the port end of the line, start pin I've called it. You can then say whether you want to use the waypoints or not, and then if they don't exist, whether or not they should be created. You then say how often is the data generated by the plugin published. Every second is fine for me. And then how long is the default start timer. The start timer is server side, so the plugin's got to know. In this case, it's 300 seconds, which is your 5 minutes. So we submit that, and we're good to go. And so then, how do we use it? So the best way to use it is we've got some web apps. There is a web app that comes with it, which if we go look at, gives us all our buttons to adjust, set the line and to adjust the line, and gives us our buttons to run the timer. I don't like using this in isolation. I prefer to use it as a embedded page in a kit display, and then that will be replaced by a widget for this and a widget for that, which I'll show you, which are much better than my clunky little web app here. So I'm just going to remember that URL, copy. We're going to go back to here. We're going to run the kit instrument display. Oh, let's log in. I've logged in. I'm going to go into configuration mode. I'm going to add a Freeboard SK setup here. That'll do, something like that. I'm going to add a embedded web page viewer, like that. That'll do. And into which I'm going to configure the URL that I just copied, which is the Signalk Racer plugin web app. And I'm going to click allow pointer events, because you've got to be able to press buttons, so you have to allow pointer events. So there we go. We have our setup ready to go. I'll add some more information as we get set up ready for that. So we can click that. And here's my boat sitting at the mooring. So let me just move that on a bit. I'm just replaying some data here. Oh, there we go, jumped it over there. And we have wind. The wind and the boat movements were recorded at different times, so there could be some funky wind shifts. So let's say the boat's moving along here and it's going past the starboard end of the line. We can push the starboard button and we've grabbed the start boat. And so let's put a little waypoint in there with the start boat, and we're going to move on a little bit further. And you're going to go grab the port end of the line, and when we're ready, we can ping the port end of the line. So there's the start pin and there's the line. So the waypoint display is all done by Freeboard, and the drawing of the line is done by Freeboard, but the calculation of the line from those waypoints is done by the plugin. And the plugin also allows you to adjust it. Let's say that they've let the anchor chain out a little bit on the start boat. I can rotate the line around a little bit. Or if I wasn't able to get quite, close enough to the pin because it was crowded, the line might be a bit longer. I can extend the line by 5 meters and stuff like that. So basically you can use these buttons like little joysticks to move either ends of the line around. So once we've got the line, what information is the plugin making available? Well, let's put in some numeric widgets. Now, once I show you the actual widgets that match this, you won't need all these little numeric widgets, but I'll put them all here so you can see the individual stuff for a start and then replace them with the kit widgets at the end of the demonstration. So if we go for a numeric widget, we can have the some of the information is that, so we look at the line, we have the start line length is being shown in meters. There we go. We can do the oops, not what I want. I wanted numeric. I'm going to go for the path of the bias of the line, telling you how favourable one end is. Save. So that's telling me for this wind, the starboard end is 15 meters unfairly biased. Although the wind's moving around a little bit, it's pretty fair line, I guess, for that. And that the line length is 86 meters. And then the most important information you want to get is how far you're away from the line. So numeric, I'm going to say paths, distance to the start line, and we probably don't need all the decimal places. Let's just go meters, save. So we're currently OCS by 150 meters on course side. We're meant to be over here, and squeeze these up a little bit. That's the information we have on the line, and the distance to the line is calculated with a 45-degree angle out from either end. If you're in that sort of barge zone, it just says what the distance is to the closest end of the line. If you're not in that barge zone, it looks at the perpendicular distance to the line and tells you that. So here you can see that we're about to cross onto the correct side of the line. In we come. 25 meters, 90 meters. Oh, for some reason it didn't set the gauge label. That's the distance to line. Save. And now we're on the correct side of the line by 5 meters. And it does know the bow offset, so it's actually showing what the bow is. I don't believe this is an accurate representation of the boat in freeboard. And the data's just jumping over there. Anyway, so I'll get the boat back in a sec. But first of all, I'll show you the start timer, and then I'll show you the course stuff as well. So let's see. So I can, in order to show you the course timer, I have to show you the time to start. So move these out of the way, and we're going to say, oops, just start the timer up, reset timer. Got what I was doing for a second. I'm adding another numerical display. This time it's going to be the start, time to start. There we go, and we want it in hours, minutes and seconds. Again, the kit widget's going to display this nicer, but that'll do for now. Okay. There we go. So, not only does this function as a standard start timer where you can say start and it counts down, and you can say sync to take it to the nearest minute, or reset to go again, start. You can take off a minute at a time, take a second, add a second. So it's quite easy to adjust to make sure you've got the time synced up right. It's also got another mode of operation where you can actually say, I know my start time is at 1:30. So you put it in time, you say start at. And so now it's said that I put my start time in, it's at 13:30, it's 55 minutes. I can have this display up the whole time while I'm getting prepped for the start, on my way to the start. I know it's going to be around that time. Once I'm in the start zone and they actually put the flags up, you can sync to the flags, or you can reset and do your normal 5 minutes thing. And so hopefully it's a very good flexible timer. The other thing, it is server side, so that if you have multiple displays, you can have the timer up on multiple displays and see it. It also is robust against if you have to change something in the plugin and restart the plugin, it remembers the time and goes again. You can reload this page and you still get the time going there. Okay, so now we're into the start sequence. Again, once I'll show you the proper widgets, you get nice flashings and beeps and things like that as it counts down, but this is just showing you the straight time. Now we've got a start time and our distance to line. We have to know where we're racing to. So let's put a course in. So we can go with draw a route, and we're going to start here. We're going to go up to a mark, a windward mark about there. So we're going to reach off over here. Make sure you don't know which way the wind's going. Come down here, do it. Oops. Say there's a leg up there, leg back here, over to there, and then finish. Something like that. Silly course. Test. Save. There's the course there. I can just use this again. This is all freeboard, and I can activate it. But once it's been activated, then the plugin starts giving you some extra information about it. So let's show you the extra information the plugin gives. Edit mode, put the line stuff over here. We're going to say numeric component. You have next leg information. So I'm going to say next leg heading, save, and oops, numeric next leg true wind angle, save. So what we're seeing here is the boat, this yellow line saying the boat currently should be navigating to this point of the route, but the next leg, the true wind angle is, or the heading is 329 up this way, and the next true wind angle for that would be quite deep, -70. So it's right at the bum, slightly on port side. But then we can see that if we go to the next leg, advancing the, oops, I've got to get out of this mode, and go to the next leg. So now we're navigating to this point here, and so the next heading is basically due east, which is 270, due west, sorry, and the true wind angle is going to be, oh, the wind's just going funky, oh, big change of the wind. As I said, the wind and the boat movements aren't synchronized. So now the wind's coming from here, so it's gone deep starboard side, 122, let's see it stabilize, and then we can go to the next leg again, and now here we have, the next leg is going down this way, so the angle is 146, and the true angle is now 129, 130 on port side. You can see the distance to line and the bias has stopped being calculated. Once we're deep into the course, it doesn't bother doing it again, except for when we get all the way through towards the end of the course. Just in case you're using the same line for the finish, it starts giving you the distance to the line and the bias for the line again, and that's against the current wind conditions. And so this is always telling you, what the wind's going to be on the next leg. So you can start doing, what spinnaker do I need, or what sail do I need, what side of the boat it's going to be on. Okie doke, so that's what the information that the plugin is providing, and that's how you can use it in the release version now. And I'm just going to show you next, I'm going to show you the nice widgets I put into Kip to make it a little bit more usable. So if I, the one thing I didn't show you actually, sorry, is that the start line here, because these are waypoints, I can actually just move them. So if you saw an AIS for the boat, you can move it like that. So I can move the line around that way. Yeah, that was any other thing I didn't show you. Now I'll show you the kit widgets that have not yet been released, but they're soon to be released. So we don't need this anymore. Delete, we don't need this anymore. Delete, don't need that, that, and that anymore. Still need these ones. I haven't got widgets for those yet. So the widgets are, in the components you'll see, currently there's the existing race timer, and there's also racer start timer. You can see that it needs the plugin, and so this is a new feature in kit version 3.3, that it checks plugins that are needed. So you can see that the autopilot, I can't install it because I don't have the autopilot plugins on the server. But the racer timer can be installed, so that's in here. And I can also do my start line. So go back to components. Here's a little picture of a start line. Needs the Signalk Racer plugin. It's available. We can put that there as well. So I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can see. I'll make them about the same size. So what have we got here? So the bottom one is showing the distance to the start. It's red, it's telling me I'm on the wrong side of the line. Hopefully I'm about to cross over to the right side. In the small print down here we have the lines 98 meters and the bias is 41 meters on the starboard side is favored. I have the, yep, we crossed over to the right side. It's now yellow because we're quite close to the line. If we get far enough from the line, it'll go white. I have this little selector button here to select all the adjustments. So I can go to pinging the, I want to say there's the starboard end there. So I've just moved the boat to where I was. I can go to my adjustments here. I can extend out the length. I can extend out the pin. The next selector, I can do the rotations. Oh, the boat just jumped back to the mooring. Did it? Yeah, back to the mooring. Oh, it'll come out again. Actually, I'll just replay the data. I should really get some better data. There we go. And yeah, so that's the normal display for the distance to start. And again, it's red because I'm on the wrong side of the line. Hopefully I'll cross over to the right side of the line. Oh, this shows you how accurate it is. Yeah, we're basically on the line there. -2, -1. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Running the line, there you go. I should, oh yeah, just over the line there. Of course I could just rotate the line up to make myself ACS on the course side. There we go. We've crossed over the right side. So that's the line widget, and the other one is the start widget. So here we have a nice big display. We can reset to our 5 minutes. We can start it. Tells us our start time here. We can go through the selector again, and one of the selectors is the sync button to take it to the nearest minute. You heard a beep there, it beeps at the minute. We can reset, we can go down and say add a few seconds, take a few minutes off, there we go, and then start it again. Start, and we'll hear a beep. There was a little beep, and it's gone yellow because we're in the last minute. And then in the last 10 seconds, if you're in the start area correctly, or we're getting beeps every 10 seconds now in the last minute, if you're in the correct side of the line, it will go orange. Let me quickly move the lines to make sure we are actually on the right side of the line. Yep. Finish. Yes. So we'll do a countdown all the way. You can see it. So we're 167 meters from the line. I don't think we're going to be on time here. I'll steal some seconds off, get us there quickly. And so it's now orange because it's the last 10 seconds. If we were OCS, it would be red. And when we get to 0, long beep, it takes us to a configured dashboard, which in this case I've got the wind display, and so it automatically changes. unless we were OCS, in which case it would not have automatically changed. It would have stayed there red. So let's do that again. And we're going to move the line. So we are definitely OCS. Finish. There we go. And we're just going to reset. And we're going to say a couple of seconds and take the minutes off. There we go. We've got 3 seconds to get there. Start. Bang. So now we've got a long beat to say we've started, and we had the red there, and we have the red 000 saying that we're OCS at 000. So we can still look at our line here to make sure we get across the line and restart, and off we go. Of course, we've also got the functionality where we can say we know we're starting at 13:30, and we can put that in, and we've got 45 minutes to start. So with those 2 widgets, we get all the functionality of the buttons that we had in the web app that goes with the plugin. At some stage, I'll probably do the next heading widget, which would make this sort of information a little bit easier to see, and also do a time to burn number and a distance and time to the ley line is the other thing that I wish to be able to put into the plugin. Rightio, I think that's everything I need to demonstrate today. Feedback very much welcome. Feature requests very much welcome. I think the plugin on its own is ready to use. I've tried it in different ways and it seems to work mostly. Hopefully these 2 kip widgets, which I think are really useful, will be released in the next version of kip in I'm guessing weeks, a week or 2, I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Talk to you later. Bye.